cold in here.
It's absolutely freezing. Welcome back, guys, to BoreDraw, episode number 80. We are flying through the episodes. Big 100 episode coming.
I've got to stop swearing in the first 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'm going to start beeping it out.
Beep it out.
The problem is, though, the editing takes so long that I get to about 10 minutes in, and if I beep out everything that Roz says,
yeah, it's problems.
He's going to say nothing throughout the podcast, and I'm going to be there for like 4 weeks.
Just like a 1 minute long beep. But nah, beep the first 30 seconds of me swearing. I'll try and tone it down.
We are here today to talk about a semi-lacking week of football.
Well, it's weird. Half the teams are on like a little Dubai trip.
This is the Premier League's version of a winter break, where half the teams get 1 week off and half the teams get the other week off. We've got African Cup of Nations, so teams were missing some of their superstar African players.
Asian Cup as well.
Yeah, Asian Cup as well. So
it's all going on.
Yeah, it's all kicking off. It's a weird time to be a football fan and a Premier League fan.
And do you know why it's a weird time to be an Arsenal fan? Have you seen... I want to see your take on it. So this was doing the rounds over the
Arteta.
weekend. Arteta getting fed by one and only Mr. Salt Bae. Where do you stand on your club's... Well, it's my club's, but like if it was your club's big manager getting another man's meat dangled in his mouth?
Mate, it was very fruity.
It's a massive...
The problem is, yeah, you got to realise, you're at all eyes on you. You're at the top level, yeah? Especially at a team like Arsenal, who have been through a banter era club and are always hovering just there or thereabouts to fall back into it.
You must have
you can't
a
be
media
acting
person,
you can't be acting free like that.
You've got
like,
to have...
If you go do it, that's one thing. Yeah, that's fruity enough. But you're letting Salt Bae, who is just an absolute divvy anyway, dangle his meat, and you're like, your mouth. You're just asking for issues.
I have no qualms with the precedent of him going to whatever Salt Bae's restaurant is and getting some steak. Fucking do your thing. My issue is when we're on no wins in 3 games. All eyes are on you. Your team is out in Dubai at a training camp. And you're there having one of those. The optics are bad. And what it does is give opposition fans just ammunition.
Yeah, you're
the
going to
amount
get gunned.
Of Man United fans, beat that one. Spurs fans that are there like, could never be my manager. Big Ange, you'd never catch Big Ange eating
sucking on someone's meat.
And I'm like, fam, he's out having dinner with his family. His son's probably like, oh, daddy, can you do the thing that's going viral where Salt Bae feeds you? And he's probably like, yeah, like it's not that.
The problem
deep.
is, yeah, like he just operates at such a different level to social media, that he doesn't care. He's probably thinking like, what's all the fuss about?
Exactly.
But
the optics are just dreadful.
But someone's got to be like, Mikel, mate, why are you at Salt Bae's restaurant right now? You should be on the training pitch.
Also,
9 o'clock at night on the training pitch, because your strikers can't score goals.
Fam, like, tell me about it. And it's like, also, who's recording that, and how is that getting let out? Like, someone has got to be... Mikel's got to be like, oh, you recorded that. Delete it immediately.
World starred.
It's so bad. And, yeah, I kind of gave my thoughts on Twitter. I was like, it's not embarrassing because like hella people have done it. Like,
it's not really embarrassing,
Ronaldo
but you just got to understand what you're doing. You're giving ammunition.
Yeah, it's just, if that had happened off the back of Arsenal 5 in a row, 5 wins in a row, top of the league, happy days, mate. The problem is, it's happened just as Arsenal are in a very sticky situation, and it's not a good look.
It's a sticky one still. Right,
Salt Bae, you're a scumbag.
Moving on to actual football that happened this weekend.
Yeah, sorry.
The premium fixture, the one that everyone was looking towards, was the Oil Classico, as it has been dubbed. We saw Newcastle take a 2-1 lead into the second half against Manchester City, who then saw the return of the one and only KEVIN De Bruyne, who rescued not only a point, but a big 3 to take back to Manchester.
That was an excellent roundup. And I'm going to preface this all by saying everything that I was saying about De Bruyne, all the slander, I take it back.
No, you can't. I don't. We let each other get away with quite a lot on this podcast. Some bad takes. We give credit for the good ones, but this is one you might have to... This might be your biggest howler.
On Filthy Fellas, they do the raise your hand and apologise kind of... And I will.
Maybe at the end of the season... We both got to go through the episodes and dig out our howler of the season.
Yeah, we actually
and see who has the worst one.
Because stay tuned for the floppies at the end of the season, where I will personally be coming for half of football social media. So I might as well. It's only right that I come for myself as well.
Yeah, Kevin De Bruyne, Ross has been saying, is on his way out for a while.
I mean,
but he is moving on in years. But we saw what he can do.
The body might be aging, but that brain be raging.
What happened was he was brought back from the previous injury too early.
Yeah, 100%.
He looks like a man on a mission. And he came on in the Carabao Cup, turned that game around. Oh no, wait. What game did he come on? Was it... He came on in the Carabao Cup, right?
Yeah. Who did they play?
Huddersfield. They smashed them 5-0.
Yeah.
Didn't turn the game around, but he came on and did that dirty assist for Doku.
Yeah.
Came on in this game where I didn't actually give Newcastle a hope in hell. They were running off running really poor form. Still
injuries out the
injuries.
wazoo, yeah.
Some FFP stuff lingering in the background. Might have to sell Alexander Isak, perhaps.
That was one of the good takes I had.
But KDB, he's different. And we'll go on to talk about this after we talk about the game a little bit more, but he could be the difference maker between them finishing second, third, or fourth in the league.
100%.
And coming back with a back-to-back title.
We'll give you a run through of the game from start to finish, and then, at the end, we'll talk about De Bruyne. So, one of the first talking points I want to talk about, we've talked about this quite a lot on the pod, about the kind of officiating being an absolute shambles. And Man City have fallen foul to it in this game because a late offside call...
Again.
A late offside call, Ederson pulls up injured. If the offside call was made correctly at the right time, that injury wouldn't have occurred. I don't know how bad the injury is, but not ideal.
This offside, Almiron is about 3 or 4 feet offside. He's not. It's not close.
It's so bad.
It's linesman. I was being told, and we know it's part of the law that they have to keep the flag down.
But until what though? Is there a judgment call where if it's so blatantly offside, they've got to flag it? So it's
what's the point?
Where is the line between? Oh, you've got to keep it down because it could be tight. Where does that tight line get until it's so blatantly obviously it's not tight, so they can flag?
Well, so this is the issue. We've seen it earlier in the season with Tyrone Mings. We saw it earlier in the season with John Stones for
It's
City.
happened so many times.
Ederson now. We're seeing PGMOL and the FA personally endangering players for the good of no one.
Coming for you, mate.
You're here to protect the players, but you're doing the opposite here. I understand that you want to make more correct calls, but if you just bought in the offside technology that was used in the Qatar World Cup, this would be over instantly.
That's so true. I was going to say it's at a stage now where linesmen don't even back themselves to make the correct call, so they'll just wait it out and get re-ref.
And do you know what? I saw the linesman getting absolutely hounded by Kyle Walker, who has no right to talk after what he's been up to recently.
Yeah, big scumbag.
Yep. Big beaky boy. But the linesman's getting hounded. But for me, I understand that he's in a position where he could change that, but he's doing his job. He's been told to keep the flags down. He's doing that.
Yeah.
So for me, it's not their fault. Take the pressure off the linesman here. Do what you have to do. Get the correct technology installed. That's all that has to be.
Yeah. Don't want to dwell on it too much.
To protect referees, to make referees' decisions easier.
But they're not protecting the players. 100%. Let's not dwell on that too much, because I brought that up because obviously linesman shambles. But I want to talk about the Man City high line. Obviously, this high line worked. It was offside. But what I noticed in the first half of this game is that Man City, like a lot of teams now, play with a crazy high line. You see Spurs and Ange do it to their detriment quite a lot, but it seems to be working. Unai Emery, I think their team has the highest success rate of playing teams offside.
Yeah, crazy.
So a lot of teams are doing that now, playing the stupidly high line.
When Liverpool won the league, their offside trap was incredible.
And that's it. And I think Man City have been good at it for many a year. You see how when they box a team in and suffocate a team, their centre-backs will be on the halfway line.
Mate, I really rate Guardiola. I really rate him, but he's not proven to be the player I thought he was.
And I totally agree. I think now, more than ever, Man City's defensive line aren't as sharp as they have been. And I think we can kind of give them positives. I think they've got the second best XG against, so it's not as deep as maybe I'm making out. But there is definitely a problem there where they're conceding a lot of goals in transition. You saw it against RB Leipzig. They scored the 2 in transition. Both are goals here. Isak's first goal is Bruno G. He's not even looking at Isak. Good. He's just thinking, the high line's there. If I just send a ball straight over the high line, he's in. Same with the Anthony Gordon goal. Straight past the high line.
And the thing is, what I saw early on the game is that Isak had the beating of both Diaz and who was his partner in the game? Was it
So Ake on one side and Walker on the other side,
He had the beating of both of them. He was so good playing off the shoulder and in between both of them. Every time the ball would come over the top, he had yards to run into, and he was quicker and stronger than them. He was getting to all of it first.
Yeah.
Why could Pep not realise that and potentially drop him deeper?
Yeah.
Or we see Rodri drop in to make a 3.
Yeah. This was the perfect storm of a player that is premium and like so good at exploiting a high line like Isak and Anthony Gordon, and a combination of like the Man City centre-backs kind of, I think, losing their kind of dominance in the defensive aspect of their game. Whereas like past seasons, Kyle Walker would never get beaten running back to goal defensively. Diaz would command every ball and win every tackle across that back line. He'd be paired with John Stones, who'd step out perfectly, drop back perfectly. I think there's an issue now where Walker's lost a yard of pace. I don't think he's as good defensively in transition as he used to be. I think Diaz, I don't want to come at him because I think he is quality, but I think his form
genuinely think he is still the best centre back in the world.
I think his form this season has dipped. I don't think he's as commanding. You saw when he absolutely took out Anthony Gordon and then Man City went and scored their goal. I think he's doing that a lot now, where he's losing the battle one-on-one, whereas like when he first broke onto the scene, he'd win every single duel. I don't think he's as dominant as he used to be. I think Saliba and Van Dijk are better centre-backs. So I think that's happening, and I think that might be his fall off. Might be due to the fact that he's been paired with a rotating player, as either Ake or a Kanji. Why is Vardiol not playing left centre back? I don't know. John Stones not being fit, that doesn't help. So I think there is an issue there.
For me, I think we are looking into this a lot.
We are.
And Man City's poor run of form coincided with them losing Rodri for 3 games. They've had no John Stones all season.
Yep.
Basically, they conceded in this game 2 absolutely outstanding finishes. They were like the lowest XG chances I think that Newcastle had all game.
Yeah, they were nice finishes.
Man City, going into it, they went 1-0 up and they were so dominant. Newcastle got down the other end a few times. Anthony Gordon looked a little bit dangerous. Isak looked dangerous. Almiron does what he does, works really hard. Probably the hardest working player on that pitch. But City were dominant.
Yeah.
City had a lot of chances. Bernardo Silva with a lovely, lovely little backheel flick. Disgusting. We know how good he is. Thought Phil Foden was excellent. And for me, Man City were absolutely dominant in this game. The scoreline doesn't reflect how dominant they were, in my opinion.
Man City fans, let us know in the comments below. Do you think defensively you're as strong as past years? I'm not saying you are or you're not. I'm just saying my thoughts, man. Don't get at me. But yeah, let's talk about offensively. They suffocate teams. They're so good. And I think they've never kind of looked bad in that sense. Even with Haaland coming out, they're still getting goals. They're still attacking well. They're still putting a lot of goals past teams.
I mean, we're not. I think we want to stray away from the debate. Are they better without Haaland?
Yeah, fuck that.
But for me, let's basically talk about what we're going to talk about. De Bruyne came back.
Yeah.
Man City's attacking options. Now, just to name a few: Doku back. Grealish on the bench, I think.
Yeah.
You've got Phil Foden, Bernardo Silva, Julian Alvarez. You've got Oscar Bob. Brilliant player.
What a goal.
What an unbelievable series of touches for that goal.
So rude, yeah.
Erling Haaland, probably the most clinical, best striker in the world. And then you've just brought back into the fold, in my opinion, the greatest Premier League midfielder of all time.
Yes, and I totally agree.
I think for me, they're favourites to win the Premier League.
Yeah.
If they get Haaland back, when was Haaland most potent? When De Bruyne and him had that link-up play, there were those passes that De Bruyne would play. We saw the same one this game, where you can't defend it.
Yeah.
You can't defend it. Once they get that going again, For me,
I'd say their percentage to win the league was already like 40%. With De Bruyne back, it's like 60%. With De Bruyne and Haaland back, it's like 80%.
For me,
probably like
if
more.
De Bruyne and Haaland stay fit for the rest of the season, I think it's over.
So that was a question, and we'll pose it to you. Does the return of one Kevin De Bruyne spell the end of Liverpool and Arsenal and Aston Villa's title race? Is it a foregone conclusion, or is there still...
Aston Villa's title race?
Come on. Yeah. Is it? Let us know in the comments. Is the title race over? Before we call it a day, Luke said, is KDB the best midfielder ever? Or Premier League midfielder ever?
He could be the best ever.
We're going to pose it to you in the comments. Let us know, is KDB the best Premier League midfielder ever? Because the discussion... I actually put this out on Twitter earlier today and we got some good responses, so check out our Twitter if you haven't. The three people that, in my opinion, and I assume a lot of people's opinions, that De Bruyne is competing with are three Englishmen. So it's always hard for a foreigner to kind of take the hearts of the nation when he's coming up against three titans in Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard and Paul Scholes. But I'm going to hit you with some statistics.
I thought you were talking about Joe Biden.
Don't beep this one. Fuck Joey Barton and everything he stands for.
Yeah, scumbag. De Bruyne versus Lampard, Gerrard and Scholes. For me, the best out of Lampard, Gerrard and Scholes, Stevie Gerrard.
I'm going Frank Lampard.
The numbers don't lie. Lampard is a fucking freak.
Lampard is so good, and I think why I think he's the best is that goal scoring wise, he is good, like the best, and I'd say he's a better goal scorer than De Bruyne.
Oh yeah,
but De Bruyne makes up for that with freakish level of creativity.
Do you know what's really weird though? It's like you look for in it like a midfielder. Probably you want like you're looking maybe for like crazy assist numbers, not necessarily goals. All four of these players have ridiculous goals, apart from De Bruyne. Really, sorry, all three of these players.
Yeah.
Lampard, Gerrard, 177 goals in 611 appearances. Gerrard 121 in 504, and Scholes 107 in 499 appearances. De Bruyne 65 in 244.
He is about half the appearances of the rest, and way over half in terms of, apart from Frank Lampard,
he
goal
is
scoring.
Almost on course. He's probably slightly under the trajectory to outscore Lampard per appearance, but he's going to absolutely obliterate their assists.
100%, and I think that is for me why he is the best. Frank Lampard, I posted this on Twitter. I said,
has Lampard ever won a treble?
Jeez. What it is with De Bruyne is that when he's having his best day, he is by far and away the best player in the world.
Oh, yeah. He's at that level, isn't he?
Yeah, like, he is freakish compared to everybody else. Whereas when I think Lampard, Gerrard and Scholes have their best day ever, they're not so...
They're the best on the pitch.
Yeah, they're not so far better than the world. Whereas De Bruyne transcends pretty much every other footballer on the planet when he's on his day.
For me, the difference is between Scholes, Gerrard, Lampard. They have the nostalgia. They're icons of the Premier League. They are. If you had a Premier League museum, they would have statues.
Yeah.
Just because of who they were and who they are and what they've done. They are iconic players within the Premier League. They're the ones where you go back and remember match attacks. They're the ones you wanted. For the generation like us growing up, they're the ones we look to.
That is a very good point.
We're old enough now to be like, it's like when you hear older people talk about football and they're like, oh, back in my day, they're talking about like Stan Bowles and they're talking about Georgie Best. We never really understand what they're talking about. We can only know that so much because we didn't watch them week in, week out. We didn't hear them being talked about on the radio, through every form of media. But Kevin De Bruyne cannot be understated. He is the best Premier League midfielder of all time.
There's nothing on the TV, nothing on the radio that I can believe in. That's what you made me think of. But as a response to that passionate speech, Luke, I'm going to give you a couple of responses to the question that we put out on Twitter about, is KDB the best in the world? The best Prem midfielder ever. So Charles at Monday Sportif, what a guy, shout out Monday Sportif every time.
Go check him out.
He said, De Bruyne is an amazing talent, but I don't think he's number one. Lampard's stats are beaut. Gerrard carried Liverpool for a decade. Even Fabregas is impressive, even if he took his 3 prime years out in Spain. Fabregas, 111 assists. We didn't even include him, but that's a joke.
Fabregas is nuts.
111 assists. It could have been 140 if he stayed.
Would it be Mesut Ozil if he didn't play for Arsenal during their banter era?
Exactly. He ends it with De Bruyne at another club isn't as impressive as he is if he's at Man City.
Yeah, but Man City aren't just a result of putting those good players together. They're like, these players, he's not just like, maybe that even proves the point more. He, in this team of superstars, he is still the one we look to.
That's what I
like,
said,
at the end of the day,
Luke.
at the end of the day, if you could have a season of fully fit, prime Kevin De Bruyne, or fully fit, prime Erling Haaland, I think you're taking Kevin De Bruyne.
100%, I totally agree. I actually answered him by saying...
Haaland is replaceable. De Bruyne's not.
He might be in a superstar team, but he's the constant top superstar.
Yeah.
Put that on his grave,
and
mate.
You know what he does as well? He enables everyone around him to be better. Because you can make the most stupid runs and he will find you.
Yeah, that's facts. That is facts. One more that I'll tell you. So we got a reply from MJ Anwar. Shout out him every time. He said...
You sound like Bevo, man.
Shout out the Chinese. Or shout out the Indians.
Yeah, shout out Chicken Tikka every time.
He said... So I said, does this spell the end of the title race? And he responded... His return has definitely raised the bar. The league has woken up. And I said, is he the best midfielder the Prem's ever seen? He said, I think he could be. The obvious names are all English and the majority would hesitate to budge on that.
Yeah,
Bing, bang, bong.
I don't know. Kevin De Bruyne is the best.
Yeah, let
If
us
you have
know.
eyes, you'll know. The problem is Stevie G, Frankie Lamps and Paul Scholes are legends. They are legends. It's so hard to compare a previous generation of player to current what is now. I mean, it's unknowable. If people say, is it Maradona or Messi? Are they who's better?
And it's mad because even though Messi just got
He's won the World Cup.
just got Argentina the World Cup, I saw a video where I don't know who,
it's like at a beach.
yeah, and they asked like loads of fans who they say is better, Maradona or Messi. They're all still saying Maradona, which is
It
crazy.
disgusts me.
Some of them even say, is it Riquelme?
Yeah, Riquelme.
And I'm like, blood, do you know who Messi is?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
crazy.
know.
But
Like,
maybe
sometimes
it's
you don't know what
generational.
you've got. Like,
Yeah.
maybe let's go back in time and make them like Colombian or Venezuelan.
Jeez.
Didn't the Argentinians be fuming, wouldn't they?
Yeah, it's
But
mad.
yeah, wow, what a journey it's been. We're halfway through the Premier League winter break. We've got a series of games coming up next week. We've got the likes of Liverpool playing, Arsenal playing, Brentford, I believe,
Jeez.
are back with Ivan Toney potentially.
Gas to see Ivan Toney back.
So that could be very interesting. A few things I want to touch on actually before we leave.
Do it.
Jadon Sancho back in the Borussia Dortmund shirt, getting an assist.
What a guy.
Do you see the CEO of Dortmund coming out saying that he hasn't got any disciplinary issues? That's absolutely codswobble.
I'm here for Sancho propaganda. I think he didn't help the situation, obviously, but it's one of those. He is at the kind of mercy of the big powers that is Man United.
I think Man
one player
United,
can't take down the system.
It's just pure rot from the inside out.
And one player can't take that down. So
I mean,
he was never going
how
to win.
many players have come in over the last 10 years and have failed to go from being superstars to being superstars at Man United? We saw Paul Pogba come in, an absolute superstar at Juventus, comes back to Man United,
They murdered him.
killed him off. Ronaldo, he was doing bits still at Juventus,
Murdered him.
murdered him,
Lukaku.
murdered him,
Jadon Sancho.
murdered him.
I was going to include Anthony, but he was a stinker anyway.
Yeah, but he was good in the
Nah,
Champions League. Like, he was better at Ajax than he's been now.
Yeah.
He's getting digged out more. And also,
Varane.
what do
Casemiro.
Eric Ten Hag and Troy Deeney have in common? Apart from they're both divs.
Poor
They
post-match.
both come out
Yeah.
and they attack their players. Troy Deeney,
Yeah.
who thinks
What a
he's
scumbag.
actually God's gift on this earth, thinks he's the best football player of all time. Your best goal scorer this season in the Premier League was 13 goals, mate. Charlie Austin, 18.
How can your manager of your club be wearing Palm Angels?
You're actually disgusting.
That's grim. If my manager was wearing Palm Angels, I'd leave the club immediately.
He needs to reflect on himself a little bit. He's calling out Dabo from Coventry, who used to play at Coventry,
Yeah.
missed a penalty
In the
to
playoffs,
send
yeah.
his team to the Premier League,
And now he's rinsing
and
him. Yeah.
clearly he's just it's a downward trajectory.
Yeah.
You should need to be the guy that helps him get his career back on track. You're digging him out, saying that he can't even play National League.
That's why I will
Bro,
never.
you can't even manage National League. You big waste man.
That's why I will never get on Arteta's back, because he has flaws, but one thing that he is so good at is taking the heat.
How
He'll
many
never
of
dig out
the
players.
elite managers,
Call out players. It
call out
doesn't
their
work.
players?
Yeah.
Mate, you've been in the job like 8 weeks. I think you've lost like 8 out of 10 games.
Mate, if my manager was Ronaldo or Messi and they were digging me out, I'd be like, fair enough, you achieved bare, you're the GOAT. You're doing this for my well-being. If your manager is Troy Deeney and the best he's achieved is... I don't know, I was going to be
Mate,
so mad.
He was pundit for QPR Watford literally the day after his team lost.
Yeah.
Like, infuriating. Absolutely infuriating. I feel sorry for you, Forest Green. It's a PR stunt maybe to get a former... It's such an easy way to go. Instead of getting someone who's like managed maybe in the even lower divisions than National League, or getting someone around there, you've gone for a name.
He just doesn't really fit in with their ethos at all. It's such a weird appointment.
Yeah, I don't know.
Another thing I want to touch on,
yeah.
Real Madrid 4-1 victors against Barcelona in the Spanish Supercopa final. Are they just the most stacked team in the world? I saw a video of Bellingham and Tchouaméni in the middle of the game kind of dictating the midfield, ear to ear. And I was like, I think Tchouaméni's like 24, Bellingham's 20. I was like, how can they have so many fucking sick players?
Do you know who they've got guiding them? Kroos and Modric.
And it's so mad. They've got Endrick coming in. There's talks of Mbappe coming in. They've got Rodrigo and Vinicius. Oh, it's so tapped. They're so good.
Mate, who they got up front from...
Hosselu.
They got Stokes Hosselu.
And it's mad.
Up top.
Yeah.
Mate,
Real Madrid
Eder
fans.
Militao,
So tapped.
Alaba.
I've seen they're
They've
linked
got
with...
Kepa in goal, who's actually not bad at the minute.
Linked with...
Courtois injured.
Linked with Alphonso Davies and Trent. It's like, imagine if there was just a team of under 25s and all just the best players in that position. Real Madrid pretty much have them all.
It's
crap. But I love it.
But the problem is, are they better than City?
Yeah. I'd love to watch them play and fuck off a Super League, but I'd love to watch Man City versus Real Madrid at least once a season.
Yeah.
Because that game is just elite.
Maybe they should do a tournament where it's the Premier League winner, La Liga winner,
that would be
Bundesliga
sick.
winner, Serie A winner, Portuguese League winner, and
that's a vibe, you know. The Saudi League winner.
No, I missed one. La Liga, Premier League,
French League,
Serie A,
Eredivisie,
yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
And they all just, and it's like a little competition, round robin.
Yeah, I just need to see more of Real Madrid versus Man City. It'd be sick.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. Competition time!
We love competition times, yes.
So, as a massive thank you for us hitting 10,000 subscribers, big shout out to everybody that is subscribing. We love you. And because we love you so much, we're going to give away £100.
£100. That is 100 times bigger than QPR's transfer window budget this January.
We're giving away a £100 gift voucher to Classic Football Shirts. As you know, we love our football shirts. What football fan doesn't? And what best way to get yourself a football shirt than to enter our competition? All you have to do is head over to any YouTube video we've posted on our channel. Doesn't matter if it's most recent, oldest, wherever you want. And comment what you'd spend that £100 voucher on. What football shirt you'd buy with that £100 voucher.
Yeah, you can literally enter as many times as you would like.
And on Valentine's Day, we will be picking our favourite, contacting the winner, and you'll be getting yourself a nice little £100 voucher.
Yeah, so if you want to stick out, make sure you comment across all our videos. We'll be uploading weekly, sometimes bi-weekly.
Jeez. Throughout
the competition. So yeah, make sure you stick out, get your competition entries in, so we'll spot you and be able to get you a nice £100, was it Classic Football shirt?
Yep.
Voucher. So yeah, but that's a massive thank you, guys. You've got us to 10,000 subscribers. I think this time last year we were sat pushing for 100.
Exactly. Time flies, mate.
It's
100k
really very much appreciated. And here's to the next 10,000. But yeah, boys, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. It's been BoreDraw episode number 80, and it's live.
Cheers.